afternoon, and good evening, EXP family. Welcome to Level Up. My name is Alyssa Specht. I'm with EXP University. I am so pumped to be here with you today. As always, I want to welcome back our return viewers. Welcome. Good to see you again. And I always want to take a moment to acknowledge and welcome those who might be joining us for the very first time today. So, welcome to Level Up. Let's do it. We are streaming live today on YouTube. We are in EXP World. We're on Workplace. We are bringing you training that's going to help you level up your life and level up your business. So we go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with training that's going to help you in any market. So let me give you the rundown of what we're doing here today. So today, we're going to kick things off with our Now What series. And I'll get to that in just a moment. I'll tell you a little bit more. But from there, we're going to talk to Shannon Pyatt about attracting with a servant mindset. And then to close things off, we're going to talk to the amazing Go-Go Bethke, who's going to give us the top 10 tips for agent attraction. So we have got quite a day in front of us, my friends. Get something to write with. We're going to get into it. So let me get back to it. I told you before, we're going to talk to Tina Caul with this series. It's called Now What? So this is actually going to be part 3 of our 3-part series. And Tina is going to focus on a brand new agent. So if you're a brand new agent, I want you to stick around and watch this. Or if you know someone who's a brand new agent, I want you to click that share button and get them here right now, because she's going to cover the importance of knowing and practicing your scripts and how to prepare and how to win the listing presentation. So, all right, guys, let's get into it. Let's toss it over to Tina Caul.
Hey everybody, Tina Caul here. I am so excited today. We're going to be talking about the listing presentation that I use or have used to capture over 100 listings a year in my career. I've been in the business 24 years and I use this listing presentation for the last 15 years, and it's helped me secure listing after listing after listing after listing. So I'm really, really excited to help you guys through this today. Number one, how to practice and memorize for the ability to present this listing. What I find with most agents is that they are script averse. They just don't want scripts. They want to go in there. They want to wing it. They want to be themselves, and they want to make friends and influence people, which I get, because it's really uncomfortable to have to go in there and practice something and repeat it and feel like you're acting or you're not yourself. Get it. Totally get it. First 7 years of my career, I did not use scripts, but I also didn't get the results. I was an average agent, but at best, I would sell anywhere from 15 to 25 properties per year, which is, not bad, right? I mean, it's a fantastic life. It's a fantastic career, but it wasn't where I could have been. I wasn't living up to the potential that other agents who actually had more ability, they actually practiced what to say. I'm a big proponent of what to say. In fact, one of my favorite books, and I put it in my other videos, is Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents. Fantastic book by Mr. Phil M. Jones. And what Phil always says is the worst time to think about what to say is when you're actually about to say it. And that is how I feel like most real estate agents work. Now, when you think about the industry, 9 out of 10 real estate agents fail in their first 5 years. They don't make it in the industry. They have so many aspirations. They come into the business as entrepreneurs and they fail out of the business. And you just wonder why? And on teams, only 3 out of 10 make it. And my biggest feeling is, knowing now what I know, looking back, is that people don't spend the time to really, really internalize and practice what they're going to say. They don't become that doctor of the process. And so they fail to really dig in deeper on some of the things that they need to understand through these processes. So one of the main things when we think about our real estate career is a listing presentation. What do we say? Why do we say it? How do we say it? So let's talk about the first way to, or how to effectively role play and learn your scripts. The first thing that you want to think about is, I want you guys to be standing up while role playing, right? Standing up, having that energy, and being able to use movements, right? And smiling when you're role playing. I want you to be enthusiastic. I want your arms to be in ready position. And I want you to be positive when you're role playing, right? When you're with another partner, and I would get a partner to do this. I want you guys to be positive. You don't have to keep throwing out negative objections. Just be positive in learning the scripts and then following the scripts verbatim. I know people are like, well, I wouldn't say it that way, or I don't like that. That doesn't sound like me. Well, of course, but Tom Cruise goes onto the set and he doesn't say, this doesn't sound like me, I'm not going to say it. He's playing a part. You're playing the role of the real estate agent. And I want you to think about your career right now and decide that you are going to act the part of a professional, seasoned real estate pro. And it doesn't matter what you would say, because your scripts are not going to be as effective as the scripts that are proven year after year after year. And I know thousands of agents that use these scripts and are very, very successful. But the difference is they've taken the time to learn them. And that's where I think the difference is between the successful and the unsuccessful, is the unsuccessful are unwilling to put in the work, because it is work. And you are an actress or an actor now. And I want you to really spend a good hour a day learning this. Now, how do we learn scripts? So we're going to read them out loud as fast as we can. We're going to chant as a group, line by line, right? So you can chant with friends or do it by yourself, but you want to chant it out loud so it sounds good when you're learning. You're going to learn the body and tonality of the script, right? An upswing or a downswing. Where do you plan on moving? That's an upswing. Where do you plan on moving? That's a downswing. So you can see the different tonality. One is more commanding. Where do you plan on moving? Where do you plan on moving? You want to think about how you're sounding to people, because to me, that confidence is right there at the end. If I'm either going to take control of the situation or if I'm sort of a little uncomfortable about how to say what I'm about to say. And like I said, role playing with a partner is key. I also like to record my role plays. I like to hear them back, which sometimes is a little bit uncomfortable because most people say, "Ooh, I don't like the sound of my voice." I hate the sound of my voice. I've gotten used to it now year after year, but or my whole life. And I used to hate listening to it, but it really helps. Maybe sometimes you're the type of person that says a lot, and you need to pick up on those things, because nobody wants to hear you saying it makes you sound unconfident. And so when you can pick those little things up in your recordings, you can sort of help guide you on redirecting. So let's start with our role play on the listing presentation, because that's what we're doing today. In the last video, we talked about the pre-qualification script. What happens when you get the appointment, and why dive into a pre-qual script? You've gathered all the answers from the seller. You've made your appointment Thursday at 5. Now you're showing up to the property. For me, when I was driving to the property, I was listening to my presentation script. I was chanting it out loud. I was getting prepared mentally. This is my listing. I'm a great real estate agent. I am the best of the best. I am going to get this listing at 6%. I'm going to help the seller with their goal. I was really getting myself fired up for that opportunity, guys and gals. I mean, this is like, you got $10,000, $5,000, $7,000 riding on this one appointment, and to treat it willy-nilly, it's not a good thing. So we're going to look at the listing presentation, which I'm sure the university will have somewhere at the bottom there that you guys can click on and get the scripts. And we'll go line by line, and I'll stop and pause and tell you why I'm saying some of the things that I'm saying. But the goal is to run through the script pretty quickly today and let you at least hear that it sounds pretty natural if you've done it a million times, if you've practiced it. Even though I'm going to be reading from the paper, I've done this script so many times, I have it memorized. So let's start. We're walking up to the door. I'm a great agent. I'm a confident agent. You look your best. You're dressed up. Always be overdressed. Men, wear a suit. Women, wear a suit. Be powerful. Be in your powerful moment there when you're walking up. You can wear a dress and you can look nice, but I always feel like if my financial advisor walks up and they're in just kind of basic casual clothes, I don't know that I'm taking them as seriously. I want to look sharp, like an attorney and, somebody who's powerful walking in. So that was me. You can wear whatever you want, but I always wore a suit. I felt like that was my power suit, and I was going to be in charge when I walked into that property. So you walk in, you shake their hand, and you say, "Thanks so much for having me over. I'm so excited about getting your home on the market, Sally. But more than anything, I can't wait to take a look around and see what we have to offer here." So you walk around the house, you take notes. So I would always have my little clipboard. I would actually have my script right there on the clipboard, and I would print out the script, and then I would write right in the lines as I'm asking the questions to the seller. I would literally write out their answers. So they didn't know exactly what I had on my paper, because nobody can read this. I mean, you can't read this from here, and I'm not even 24 35 inches or whatever from the computer. So you have that on the clipboard, you walk around the house. Now they're trying to sell you the house again. Oh, look at that, look at this. And you're like, You're writing it down, and you're basically taking notes. So I'm looking at, does it need to be painted? What does the house need at that point is what I'm really looking at. Now, we sit down at the table, and at this point, I would say, Sally, my gosh, this is such a beautiful home. I'm so excited for the opportunity that I have with you today. I wrote down 3 really important questions that I'd like to ask you. Is that okay if I ask them now? And then I would ask the questions. Sally, do you absolutely have to sell this home, or are there alternatives for you? And then Sally would answer. Sally, are you willing to price your home to sell, or do you mind if it sits on the market for a long period of time? And 3, do you want me to handle the sale for you? Any one of those, or I'm sorry, do you want me to handle the sale for you? And they might say, well, no, we're not sure, or, whatever, or we have 3 more appointments. And that's fine. On the, do you absolutely have to sell this home? What I'm looking for there is, do they have options? Will they rent it? If they rent it, now I have to go right into a rental analogy and help them through the rental process of, what does it mean to rent? What's the ROI they're looking for? Do they have the mindset for renting their home? So do you absolutely have to sell this home? Will you price your home to sell, or do you mind if it sits on the market for a long period of time? That's where someone might say, yeah, I don't care. It could sit there for a year. I have no motivation to sell. Ooh, I need to know that. Basically, then I would go into, I want you both to know that I've worked really hard on gathering this information for you. And I'm hoping the information is as clear to you as it is to me. The good news is that you're both in charge, and that the numbers are pretty black and white. Hopefully by the end of our meeting, one of 3 things will happen. The information is so clear to you that you both decide to list the home with me. You reject the market value and you decide not to list with me, or I decide not to take the listing, and any of those is really fine. And so it's sort of like you're basically giving them options that say, hey, this is clearly 3 choices. You can pick any of the 3. I'm not really attached to the outcome. I'm here to give you the best information possible and move on. Now, at the what I like to do in the next part of this is quickly, I'd like to take a moment and review the questions that I asked you all over the phone. And those were you said you were moving to blank, right? You said that you had to move because blank. You said that you had to be there by blank. You would like to price your home between blank and blank, correct? You said that you owe blank on the property. Is that right? Now, you weren't planning on selling it yourself, correct? Correct. Great. And you did want to take your money out and take it to Vermont with you, right? Wonderful. So I go through those questions because I want to make sure that the husband, the wife, or the partnership, they're on the same page. I can't tell you how many times I've skipped some of those parts, or the husband or the wife would say, oh yeah, this is when we need to move by. And the partner's like, no, we don't. We don't need to, we have time. It doesn't matter. So you can start to pick up on who's telling the truth and who's not. Now, the next part of the conversation is, there's really only 2 issues we need to look at tonight. Number 1, your motivation to sell this home. And number 2, the price that we set on this home. It's really important that you know those are the only 2 key issues that we look at in selling a home. Now, I've prepared what we call a market absorption analysis. There's 2 parts to the research. Part 1, we jokingly call fantasy land. And that's what some real estate agents will list homes for. Part two is what we call reality. And that's what some professional real estate agents actually list homes for with the homeowner involved. And that's where we get the best result. And you guys today get to pick which one of those that you're going to participate in. Now, the purpose of the market analysis is to determine the value of your home in the eyes of the buyer. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, how would you say that a buyer determines value? Now, what I'm looking at here is I want them to start thinking about when they were buying homes. You know, when you went out and looked at properties, what were you looking at when you were buying a home? What was the first thing that you looked at? Well, we looked at the price, we looked at the condition, we looked at the location. So you want them to start thinking about that buyer mentality, not just sell, 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 and I want the highest price. You want them to start thinking about what it was like to buy a home back then. Why did they buy this property versus the other ones? So I would say yes, and I would repeat what they said, and then say buyers determine value by comparison shopping. They're going to look at the price of your home based on the features and benefits of your home and compare it with the features and benefits of similar homes that have recently sold or are currently available. Does that make sense? Now that was a script, right? That whole thing. But I've said it so many times that it just comes out. Now, this is a great analogy, and I've heard a lot of agents say that is so cheesy, or I don't like to say it. Oh my God, that's weird. I love this because it works almost every single time to help them start to understand how buyers search for homes. Now, I would just say for a quick example, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you were going to purchase a car and one dealership had a car for $50,000 and another dealership had the same exact vehicle for $50,000, but that vehicle had a moonroof, fancy rims, and a navigation system. If you had to pick A or B, B being the one with more features and benefits, which one would you honestly pick? Now you want to say it that way, like it's just an obvious answer. And they're going to go, well, of course I'd pick B. Exactly. If the dealership had the same, if both dealerships had the same car, one had more features for the same price, you'd obviously pick that one. But if the first dealership called you back, Mr. Seller, and said, hey, we've got to get this car off the lot, and we are going to mark this car down to $35,000 today, which one is a clear choice then? They always say that one, because for $15,000, you can put in a moonroof, you can put in fancy rims, you can put in a navigation system and save yourself some money. Now, most people are going to say that. So then you can say to them, so you can see that if you want to increase value, you can do one of two things. You can have a lower price than the competition, or you can have more features and more benefits for the same price. Now, what does that do to the seller? That tells them that the fancy landscaping that they just put in for themselves the last 5 years, that was for them to enjoy it. That landscaping is going to bring some value. It's going to help them stand out from the competition. But what sellers tend to do is they want to start charging everybody for every little thing that they put in their house for themselves, and they want every dollar back. And that's not reality. We're going to use that bigger yard to help you stand out from the competition. We're going to use the upgraded countertops to help you stand out from the competition, so the sellers can price it very clear choice, have a great property for similar amounts of money, not weighted that far and where they lose money, right? Because that house is so overpriced now, it's not selling. And how many of us have seen gorgeous properties, I mean, that will knock your socks off, and they're not selling? It's a pricing issue. It's not a marketing issue. It's a pricing issue. So I think that's where, as real estate agents, sometimes we try to convince ourselves that, oh, I just need to do more marketing. Well, for the features and benefits that you have and where you priced it, if the home is beautiful and has nothing wrong with it, it is the price. The buyers found enough value to look, just not enough to buy. And we need to have those conversations. So this sets the sellers up for that. Now, so unless you're planning to add more features and benefits to your home, are you? And I always would shake my head, and they're like, oh, no, we're not. Price is the only issue. Can I show you what I mean? Now, this is the part of the presentation where you're going to have to pull comps. And we're not going to go over the comps today because we don't have time, but you're going to pull comps that show homes that are better than theirs, homes that are just like theirs, and homes that are worse than theirs. And you're going to go through that comps. And in another training, we can talk about how we set that up. Now, the next part of the presentation is showing them your house is better, this house is better than yours, and this house is very similar to yours. Now, You want to say, what price are they asking? You want to ask the seller to go through, how long has it been on the market? And you need to be in Florida by blank, right? So if it's been on the market for 60 days and they're looking to move in 30, you need to show them that these houses are sitting, and they don't want to do this to themselves. So the next question after you've shown them comps is, what price do you feel we should use to create value in the mind of the buyer's eye and get them to buy your home versus the competition? And they'll say, blah, 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 whatever it is. And then I say, honestly, now that you've seen these prices, I feel that you'll agree that the market is suggesting that we price your home between 500 and 525,000. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, will you list your home at that price today? And that's where you're going to start to get into the pricing, conversation back and forth. Now, most of the time, if you do a great job on the presentation, you do a great job with the active, closed, and pending that you brought, and they can see that you know what you're doing, you can pretty much get them to understand that they're going to use the features and benefits, not overprice the home, and get to the right price. And at that point, I would say, all we need to do is simply sign the agreement to get myself started and get a lockbox on the house and get the photographer in and get this home on the market. Are you prepared to get your home on the market today? And usually the seller would say yes. Now, if they said no, or they have an objection, obviously that's a whole different training. But at this point, you've done your presentation, you're professional, you've done your pre-qualifying, you've come in, you've set the stage for you to take a listing, not just make a friend. And you've done everything correctly thus far. It should set you up for more successful presentations. And I'm just a firm believer that before I had no presentation, I didn't have the best time getting listings, and I wasn't as consistent. Once I started using something that was a little bit more to this level, and I practiced it and I internalized it, and it became part of who I am when I present, my listing ratio went through the roof, and I took 8 out of every 10 listings that I went on. And remember, I was going into expireds, for sale by owners, listings that I didn't have instant rapport with the sellers. It's one thing to go out on a referral and get the appointment. That's not what I'm talking about. This was about me making opportunities in the market, going out cold to people I didn't know, and landing 8 out of every 10 listings. So I hope that this training was helpful for you. I hope that you got value out of it. The script should be somewhere below in the university or the bottom of the video. And I would say really focus on the skills of practicing what to say, internalizing it, and becoming a professional in your industry, because you are going to see the results and it's going to be so worth it. So thanks for watching. I hope I see you guys all soon, and keep on shining.
Woo! All right, folks, put your hands together for Tina Caul. That was the 3rd episode in her 3-part series. Amazing, amazing. If you missed the first 2, go back and check for those on the YouTube channel. Really amazing content. And remember to share that with someone who needs it. Okay, guys, we're going to keep on rolling. So let's do this. Next, we're going to talk to Shannon Pyatt. And Shannon's going to share his secret recipe for agent attraction. So Shannon's going to teach you how to attract agents to your team by adding value in building genuine relationships. Genuine. So why don't we do it, guys? Let's toss it over to Shannon Pyatt.
Hey, it's Shannon Pyatt here, and today we're going to talk about give to get, attract with a servant mindset. And I want you to think about that real hard, because I want you to think about, how are you attracting people, right? Whether it's you're attracting them in real estate sales, whether they're looking to buy or sell, or whether you're attracting agents to your company to grow your brokerage, or to grow your firm, or to grow your team, right? You need to have a servant's mindset in order to do that. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Let you know a little bit about myself. I am from the Asheville, North Carolina, just outside of Asheville, North Carolina area. Also lived in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, a good portion of my time. I travel back and forth between those 2 areas. Been in real estate for over 20 years. I was recently featured in Success Magazine's top 125 most influential leaders. Been on Featured Agent Magazine, the cover of it twice now, the Top Agent Magazine twice, and winner of the #1 listing presentation for eXp Realty in 2019, and that was worldwide across all eXp. It was pretty cool. I was on the stage at MGM Grand, and out walks Dave Kennord and Glenn, and they offered me this big, nice check and a nice award. It was pretty cool, pretty cool. So anyway, married to my wife, Leah, father of 3, Malaya, Maggie, and Shannon Kelly. And what I like to do it for fun? Well, you know what? I'm a drummer. Drummer on my worship team. I've been a DJ for 30 plus years. I've been in the radio industry as far as a radio announcer and television broadcaster, that kind of stuff throughout my history. So it's definitely helped with the communication part. So let's dive right in. Attracting with a servant mindset. So what do I mean exactly by attracting with a servant mindset? Well, there's 3 major things here. You've got to provide care, you've got to provide value, and you've got to provide assistance. Well, let me break those down for you a little bit. So care, you must show the person that you care, right? The old adage has been no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So you've got to care about the person. And I don't mean like care about them joining your team or care about them buying or selling from you. I mean truly care about that person. Get involved in what's going on in their life. We're going to break this down for you. Value, provide value, massive, massive, massive amounts of value. You know, when I first got into real estate, I was terrified to do listings. Now, keep in mind, I had the #1 listing presentation, right? But I was terrified to do listings shortly after, maybe 5 years after being in the business, because I had been trained to be a buyer's agent and not to focus on listings. However, I hired a coach. This is back in the Craig Proctor days. If you remember that, that's been some time ago. I'm dating myself here. However, my coach said, you know what? You're going to go after listings, but you're not just going to go after any listing. You're going to go after for sale by owner. And I remember my heart sank. I was about to throw up. I was sick to my stomach, right? However, here's what's really cool. I learned through working through for sale by owners that it's all about providing value and pouring into them and offering to help. Okay. And you're going to do the same thing, whether you're attracting business for buyers or sellers, or if you're looking to grow an international team or whatever it may be. That's what you're going to do. You're going to provide value, massive amounts of value without anything in expectation. Okay. That's very important to understand. You want to provide value, but you want to make sure that it's not attached to an outcome or an expectation that you have, such as them buying or selling from you, such as them, whatever, joining your team, whatever the situation may be. Okay. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is how to assist them, right? You want to ask them, how can I help you grow your business, right? Maybe you're looking for buyers or sellers. Well, ask them, how can I help you? What can I do to assist you, right? Provide things that now this is in the agent attraction portion here, okay? Provide things that their broker doesn't, okay? So you've got to take yourself out of your real estate brain, so to speak, your EXP brain, if you will. Step aside from that for a moment and think back when you were an agent at a mom and pop brokerage, or maybe you were an agent at one of the other big national franchises, right? Well, what did your broker do and what did your broker not do for you, right? So keep that in mind, and then you want to maintain that relationship throughout, okay? So let's break down care for you. Again, the old adage, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. It is so, so, so true, okay? So you want to ask yourself this question: how can you help them further their real estate career? Now, a lot of this is going to be focused. You could utilize this for buying or selling with clients, but a lot of this is going to be geared toward growing a international team, growing an organization, right? So how can you help them further their real estate career, right? What can you do? What kind of assistance can you offer, right? Again, you want to provide without that outcome, okay? Without being attached to the outcome. If they want to stay at Keller Williams, Remax, Coldwell Banker, Century 21, wherever they're at, if they want to stay there, you say, you know what, that's perfectly fine. I still want to provide some value for you because that's who I am, right? That's my nature. That's what I like to do. Okay. And how can you help them achieve their goals better? One of my favorite sayings, and I've been saying this for many, many years, is prescription before diagnosis is malpractice. Write that down. Prescription before diagnosis is malpractice. Okay. So how can you help someone achieve their goals if you don't know what their goals are? Right? So you want to ask questions when you're getting to know these people. Ask them, hey, what are your goals? Where are you now? Where do you want to be? How can I help you get to where you want to be? Right? You absolutely must give them something that they are not currently getting. Right? If they're getting it where they are, they don't need that extra assistance. But 9 times out of 10, especially talking about brokerages, they're not getting what they need. I can tell you right now, I know I've worked for enough. I've ran my own brokerage. I've done all this stuff. Okay. So many brokerages will bring people into their company, leave them to fend for themselves. And this is where you are going to be totally different. Okay. If you provide the training, the support, you help them grow their business, and you truly help them do it, again, not being attached to that outcome, right? You're going to have a major advantage over their current brokerage. Okay. Another thing you got to do is you got to think outside the box, right? You got to treat agent attraction as a means not to further your career, but to further their career. I'm going to say that again. I want you to write that one down. Think outside the box. Treat agent attraction as a means to further their career, not your career. Okay. So we've always thought of, okay, how can I grow my business? How can I do this? How can I do that? Take yourself out of the equation and look at the other person and say, how can I help them further their career? Right now, not completely, but many agents are aware of our company now, right? It's not like it was years ago where it was like, EX who? Never heard of you guys, right? That's not the case. I mean, we literally, have the number one transactions in the entire world, right? So we are really, really out there now. But here's the thing. People want a sponsor that's going to pour into them, providing things, again, that their current brokerage will not. Okay. So step number 1 is care. Truly care about the individual, not the outcome. Okay. Now, how do you do that? Well, you can leverage social media, right? Friend them on Facebook, right? Connect with them other social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Ideal Estate, whatever it may be. There's a bunch of different social medias out there that you can utilize to get to know people. You want to friend them, and then create a friend list on Facebook, right? Call it recruits, agent attraction, whatever, and then engage with them. Now, what do I mean by engage with them? Here's what I mean. Pay attention to what is going on in their lives, okay? What's going on in their lives? So if you think about this for a second, remember I told you, care about them without the outcome, right? So let me give you an example. So maybe your friend Sam is a realtor, okay? And you want to connect with Sam because you think he'd be great for your team, great for your organization. Well, Sam's daughter, Mary, just graduated from Ohio State University, okay? So what could you do to provide care for Sam and for Mary? Well, it's easy. You could like or emote on their post, whatever that post is, right? And by the way, if you just click like, that doesn't do a lot for Facebook's algorithms. But if you click love and, care and all the others, the sad face and all that stuff, that actually helps boost your numbers in Facebook and helps you see more people's posts and things. So if you just click like, it's not going to help you a whole lot, but you want to emote on that person. So if it's, let's say Mary just graduated from Ohio State University, maybe you want to love that post, right? You want to love that post. Then you want to make a comment about that post. Now, I wouldn't just make any comment. I like GIFs. The GIFs, the GIFs, the things that kind of move around, those are really neat because they get people's attention. Okay. So you want a GIF on that post, And then what you want to do is you want to send a private direct message through Facebook Messenger or through Instagram Messenger or through whatever messenger means that you're talking to them through. Okay. You want to send them a private message at that point. Now, you could easily text type that to them if you want to. My recommendation is one of two things. You're either going to voicemail. Okay. So you're going to record a voicemail, or not a voicemail, but record a voice, right? And speak into it to where they can hear it. Or better yet, take out your phone, open up your messenger on your phone, and then literally hold it up and do a video, right? So my video might be like this. Hey, Sam, I saw that Mary just graduated from Ohio State University. Man, that is awesome. My daughter works at Ohio State University. This is really, really cool. Hey, I'd love to chit chat with you a little bit about that sometime. I think it's amazing, man. I'm so happy for you. This is so great. I know you're a proud papa, right? Something along those lines. Now, when they get that message, that's not about real estate. That's not about them joining your team. That's not about them leaving their brokerage. That's about truly caring about that particular person. Okay. The next thing you want to do is share successes. I do this all the time. It doesn't matter what company they're at, Berkshire Hathaway, Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, I don't care, right? If they win an award or they do something really big and they put it on social media and they're excited about it, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn around and share that exact post. And I'm going to say, hey, check this out. My friend Sam over at Coldwell Banker just won this big award, and I'm so proud of him. Man, way to go. Now, let me tell you something, what that does. That gets their attention faster than anything. Right there. People say, why would you share? They're not even with your company. I don't care that they're not with my company. Again, I care about them, not the outcome. Okay. So you got to keep that in mind. Then always, everybody knows this one, right? We've called it Ford. We've called it Frog. We've called it all kinds of different stuff. Ford, family, occupations, recreations, and dreams. Get to know them more than just a realtor. Okay. If you treat them as another number that you're trying to add to your FLA or your FLQA, guess what? You've lost them. Okay? You've lost them because they're a number. Get to know that person as a person, not just a realtor. What's going on in their lives? What are their hobbies? What are their kids doing? What are their dogs' names? All that stuff's really, really important. Next thing you want to do is stay in contact with them. Remember, this isn't going to happen overnight. Okay? You got to be persistent, right? This is a marathon, not a sprint, right? We're not sprinting to get to the end of this thing. We are running an absolute marathon, a long game, if you will, right? That's what we're trying to do right now with building this relationship with these particular agents. And the only way that we're going to do that is to continuously be pouring into them over and over and over and over and over again. It's persistency. Okay? We've all heard it. Follow up. The fortune's in the follow up, right? Okay, if you don't follow up, you're going to miss out. And if you're not consistent, you're not persistent, you're not going to make this work. Okay, you want to text them often. Say, I was just thinking about you today. How's life? What's going on? How are the kids? How's the dogs? Whatever, right? Call them. Share things not related to real estate. Talk about their family. Remember Ford, right? When you talk to them, you need to make a note. I don't care if you use a Remarkable like I do, or if you use a CRM, or if you write it out on a piece of paper. You need to know what's going on in their life. So when you talk to them, they're going to know exactly you're going to know exactly what to talk about with them. Okay. The next thing you're going to want to do is handwritten notes. Okay. Write that down right now. Handwritten notes, personalized gifts. You've got to make sure that you write handwritten notes to every single person that you're building a relationship with. Have a stack of them on your desk. Sit there and write them out. If I'm talking to Sam and his daughter Mary graduated Ohio State, I'm writing out a handwritten note afterwards, and I'm going to pop it in the mail to him, right? That means a lot. Now, there is this mailbox power thing. There's send out cards. There's all kinds of different stuff that you guys can use, right? So feel free to use those if you want to. The next thing we're going to talk about is value. Okay, so we've got care, we've got value, and we've got assistance. Value is the second most important thing, and I would say it's very, very, very important. Okay, so if you want to attract agents to your team, the number one way to do this is provide value, 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 until you cannot provide value anymore. Okay, give them something they're currently not receiving at their current brokerage. We've talked about that, right? Offer to meet with them one-on-one or with your team weekly or bi-weekly. Okay, so if your team is having classes during the week or every other week or whatever the situation is, bring them into those classes. Now, if they're agent attraction classes, you don't want to do that, right? But bring them into your classes. Bring them into your one-on-ones, right? Just make sure that you are getting them involved. Okay, that's what we got to do. Is we have absolutely got to get them involved in everything that we are doing. All right, share your tips and tricks with them. Okay, if you've got a great listing presentation, offer it up. Okay, I've got the number one listing presentation. You know what? People that I'm trying to connect with, that I'm trying to build a relationship to bring over into the company, guess what? They're going to get a copy of that, right? Give out your stuff. If you got a great buyer presentation, give it away, whatever it might be. Okay. If you know how to generate leads very well, right? One of the things that I do is, I'm a certified KV Core ambassador, right? So I literally have been certified by Inside Real Estate to train on KV Core. I sit down with people and I teach them how to generate leads utilizing KV Core. Okay, and you need to be able to do the same thing. If you don't know KV Core that well, that's fine. Maybe you know another lead generation strategy. Maybe you're good at circle prospecting, or maybe you're good at running for sale by owner ads, or working with for sale by owners, or expireds, or running billboards, or magazine ads, whatever it may be. Sit down and share your knowledge with them, and as you share your knowledge with them, then they are going to realize, wait a minute. This is different. This is something I've never had before, right? Remember, it doesn't matter if you've always considered them your competition. You need to give them good, viable reason to join your team or tribe, okay? They're not your competition anymore. They're a fellow agent, and there's a difference, okay? Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is assistance, okay? So invite them, again, like I said, to your weekly trainings, your coaching calls, your tribe meetings, etc., okay? Get them involved. Offer to help them through a difficult transaction that they may be facing. I can't tell you how many times I hear from agents where they will meet with me and they'll say, or we'll talk, and they're like, I say, hey man, how's business going? How's life going? And they'll say something to the effect of, gosh, I got this deal and it's just crazy right now. And I just don't know what to do about it. You know what? Help them through it, right? Stop and help them through it. Listen to what's going on in their life and then offer a solution. Remember, again, okay, prescription before diagnosis is malpractice. I want you to write that down. That's huge. Prescription before diagnosis is malpractice, okay? And so then you want to make sure that you're listening to what their problems are so that you can offer a solution to those problems, okay? Don't go out there and start talking about, oh, EXP is fantastic, man. I love it. You know what? We've got RevShare, and we've got stock, and we've got KV Core, and we've got blah, 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 blah. That's called EXP, EXP, whatever you want to call it. It's not good, okay? It's not good. It's not healthy, and it's certainly not going to help you grow your team. The only thing that's going to help you grow your team is the relationship with the other agent. Grant Cardone coined a great phrase. He said, the difference between contact and contract is the R, right? And the R is the relationship. So if you don't have the relationship, you're probably not going to get them, especially now that everybody knows an EXP agent, right? So, oh, I know so-and-so, or, oh, my sister joined, or my brother's sister-in-law's first cousin's ex-husband's, whatever, right? We're all going to know those things. Everybody's going to know somebody in the company. So how do you set yourself apart? It's by relationship. It's by building that bond with them, that relationship with them, helping them through that difficult transaction, right? Providing value, showing them how to lead generate, caring about whether their kid graduated college, all that stuff really, really matters. Now, one of the things I like to do, you don't have to, I'm a praying man. All right. I love me some Jesus. Okay. That's just who I am. And I'll tell you right now, if I know that they are a praying person, I will gladly grab their hand and pray with them, because sometimes people just need that, right? If they're walking through something difficult in their life, maybe they've lost a loved one, or they're really sick, or they just found out some bad news from the doctor, whatever it may be, right? Take the time, step back. I'm an excited person, right? I get excited. I scream and I yell and all this stuff. But you know what? Step back, take the time to listen to them yet again, find out what's going on, bow your head and pray with them if you're a praying person, right? It's a world of difference to them. Okay. Encourage them to be their go-to person. You want to be their go-to person when they need help for something. You don't want to run into their broker or run into their other friend who's a realtor or whatever, right? If you provide enough value to them, when things start getting a little hairy in business, guess what? They're going to come to you. Okay. And if you remember this, the more value you provide, the more they're going to trust you. And the more they trust you, the more likely they are to join your team. Okay. So there you go. That is my recipe, if you will, for, agent attraction. I believe it all comes down to having the heart of a servant. You've got to serve with a servant's mindset. You've got to provide value. You've got to assist them. You've got to truly care about them without worrying about the outcome. And when you do, sit back, relax, and watch your team grow. I'm Shannon Pyatt. Here's my contact information, shannon.pyatt at exprealty.com, shannonpyatt.com, or on Workplace, Shannon Pyatt. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time today. God bless you.
Folks, that was Shannon Pyatt. Amazing. Thank you so much, Shannon, for being on. And my friends, we're still rolling strong here. So I want to let you know about what we got coming up next, and let's do it. So next up, we're talking to Gogo Bethke. Gogo is one of my favorites. The way that she frames her content, it's stuff you've never heard before. And so her next class, she's going to be talking about the top 10 tips for agent attraction. So I want you to grab a notebook, look around your desk. I know you've got one somewhere. Go ahead and grab a notebook, because she's going to give you the strategies for how to build a strong personal brand, how to create effective marketing, using social media to connect with people. So I need you to have something to write with, because you're going to get a lot of value. Why don't, without further ado, let's do it. Let's toss it over to Gogo Bethke.
Look at the production here. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights. I'm doing a top 10 tips for agent attraction, and also underneath another presentation for production. So, oh, hi guys. I guess I'm ready. Okay, let's do this. I guess you saw me at action, or in action, I should say. Thank you so much for having me today. I am Gogo Bethke, in case you don't know me. I joined the company in 2018. It was the best business decision that I have ever made in my real estate career. I've been in real estate now for 12 years. I've been proudly with eXp for 4. eXp changed my life. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is 10 tips for agent attraction. And I'll tell you a little bit about my agent attraction career, so said, here at eXp, because I wasn't a mega icon team when I came over. I didn't even have a team, right? I had a very small I had an assistant, Christy, who was my right hand. And that was pretty much it when I came over to eXp. If it wasn't for my husband, I had people talk to me about eXp many times. I, for whatever reason, didn't see or didn't want to see, maybe because I was drinking the Kool-Aid somewhere else. And it was my husband, thank God, who said, you need to pull the trigger and you need to pull it now. And that was 4 years ago, thank God. And since then, I have personally brought over 240 agents in my frontline and my husband frontline. So together, we have brought over 240 agents frontline. And today, the Team Gogo organization, so my organization, we call Team Gogo, it is over 1,040 agents as of yesterday. I didn't check it this morning. So I'm here to share a couple of my thoughts about agent attraction. It might be a little different. I am Eastern European. I was raised with tough love. I have a little bit of a different mindset, I guess, on life because of coming from communism. So hopefully I'm not too rough on you guys, but let's get started. So number one, when you do anything, right, in business, now think of it this way. I built everything with social media, but when I say have an account, I mean a business account. We all have personal accounts. I have personal accounts. That's where I have fun, right, on social media. But when it comes to real estate and taking my business seriously, I absolutely do it on social media, but I do it on a business account. So if you could create yourself a business profile, or hopefully you already have one, then you have the basis. On your business profile, though, you have to take your business seriously. So I don't want to see that you're a foodie. I don't want to see that you love yoga and you have a cat. None of that. Do I love yoga? Yes. Am I a foodie? Yes. Do I love to travel? Absolutely. Do I have a bulldog? Yes. Do I have kids? Yes. But you're not going to see that on my business profile. Because if you don't take your business seriously, they are not going to take you seriously. Make sense? So you want to look at your business profile on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of those as your storefront. If there was a boulevard of realtors, and somebody's walking down on the boulevard and looking at your storefront, are they going to come into your store or are they going to come into mine? So you need to make sure, because there's many realtors, right? Not only that there's many realtors in the industry, thank God, because we can attract them all to EXP, right? But there are also very many realtors that are already here, right? So if there's 86,000 of us, that means somebody who's not with EXP right now, they have a choice who they want to join the company with. Make sense? So I want you to keep that in mind, that your storefront, so that has to be appetizing. So when somebody comes in or walks in front of your store, they actually come in to buy something. So that's your business profile. So that was number one tip, okay? So make sure that your business profile is business, make sure your account is set up for business, and make sure that you depersonalize it. Now, I don't want you to depersonalize it too long or too much, because you still want people to truly know you, but leave things in there that fits your business personality profile, okay? The next one, tip number two, and hopefully you're writing these down. So have a notebook so you can write these down. Hopefully you learned something today. Even if you just learn one thing every single day, no matter how small it is, even if it's a 1% change in your business, by the end of the year, it's a 365% change, right? If you change 1% every day, it's 365% by the end of the year. So I'm huge on notes. And of course, it's personalized. My notebook, I could build homes with my notebooks. Here's my EXP Team GoGo notebook. And everybody that joins EXP with me gets a notebook and a Team GoGo pen. This is their first gift from me to them. Mine, I literally just filled it out to the last page. Like I'm literally right now writing on the inside of the book because I ran out. And Christy is shipping me the next one, but it didn't get here yet. So personalize it. Next one. So number two, don't sell your brokerage, sell your successes. What does that mean? If you keep saying, well, EXP can give you a cab back, or EXP, we have health insurance, or at EXP, you can have a downline, right? Like, don't do stuff like that because people don't care, right? You want to look at it, what would change their lives? So instead of selling the product, which you still need to know the product, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but instead of selling the product, I want you to sell how it changed your life, or what part of the company that made you make the switch, right? So number one, I want you to create a video if you haven't yet, and I want you to call it Why I Joined EXP video. Well, that's what I call it. You can call it whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to call it Why I Joined EXP video, and I want you to create one. Now you're going to shoot it horizontally, so not this way. You're going to shoot it this way, right? Because anything that you're building into a website, right, you need to shoot it horizontally because you need to store it. It needs to be wide angle, right? And you need to store it on the YouTubes and those kind of things to build it into your website. So make sure you shoot it horizontally. Make sure you have natural light on your face, and just be like, just truly talk from the heart. What I want you to cover in the Why I Joined video is who you are, but I don't want you to go back to your childhood. When I was born in Transylvania, right? Like, no offense, but nobody cares, right? You want to give them just enough in a very short period of time that they have a reason to look up to you so they can watch the rest of the video, right? So in my case, for example, I might have said that I was with Real Estate for 7.5 years. Then I went to Keller Williams. I was a top producer at both of the offices. So I gave you enough information in that little segment that you're like, oh, she's a top producer. Oh, she's been in the industry for 7.5 years, right? Something so they can look up to you, but not too much about yourself. And then I go into the 3 reasons why I joined EXP. My 3 reasons were, Number one is the ability to earn your cap back, so the ICON program. Number two is the ability to have ownership in the company, no matter if you are day one agent or if you've been in the industry for 40 years, right? And then number three is revenue share. So I did come for revenue share because by the time I joined DXP, I had 30-some thousand followers on Instagram. And I would say 90% of them were realtors, right? So I was in communication with realtors already, trying to change lives. And it was taking time away from my production, but I never could figure out a way to get paid for that time. Now, revenue share allows me to do what I love, which is changing lives, because I love this industry. And I think everybody should be a realtor who wants to be a realtor, because there is no ceiling for us. We can do whatever we want, right? So through this video, I want you to talk for the 3 reasons of why you joined DXP and why you believe that this company is the best fit. So whoever's watching that video can have that same feeling. And then the very end of that video, you have to assume that they are stupid and they have no idea why they just watched this video. And you want to literally spell it out to them like they're 3 years old. You want to spell it out to them. I want you to click the link below and jump into my calendar, right? Or I want you to DM me, or I want you to send me a message, or I want you to send me an email, or here's my cell phone number, give me a call. I would love to tell you more about it. Assume that they don't understand why you just created this video and what you want to achieve with that video, right? So at the end, you'll say, I would love if you decided to bring your business over to EXP. It would be my honor to be your sponsor in the company. If you would like to learn more about the opportunity, just call me, DM me, here's my cell phone number, however you want to do it. I make them jump into my calendar and they watch 9 videos before they can talk to me. But how you want to do it, that is absolutely up to you. The next one is facts tell, stories sell. So instead of saying that, EXP has an ICON program, and if you sell 20 transactions over capping in your own anniversary year, then you get your 16,000 back in company stocks, and you do have to work a little bit for those stocks. They have to vest for 3 years, and yada, yada, yada. Instead of telling facts about it, I want you to think of who is that person in your downline or organization, who is that person within the company that you know that's the ICON agent that you could use their story, right? So for example, I have in the Team Go organization, if I remember correctly, we have 26 ICON agents. And out of those 26, one of them is Yasmin Rogers, and she's an immigrant like myself. She's from Mexico. I'm from Romania, different continents, but immigrants. We have that in common. And she joined us in the last 2.5 years. She ICON 3 times. So that's a story. Instead of me telling about the ICON program, I can tell Yasmin's story, right? And through her story, someone will relate. So facts tell, stories sell, okay? The next one is FOMO, the fear of missing out. Now, people don't join brokerages, people join people, right? So because they could join with you, they could join with me, they could join with Joe Schmo over there, right? So since they're joining with people, now we have to decide who is that people going to be. Of course, I want to be me and you want to be you. They want you to choose you as their sponsor and I want them to choose me as their sponsor, right? So when you create FOMO, the fear of missing out, how do you do that? By showing the good life, by showing what you're going through, by showing what this company did to you, by showing that you can do business from the beach, by showing that you have a retirement account, by showing that you've only been with the company for 9 months and you ICON'd and you earned your cap back, right? So creating FOMO means showing what the company does for you versus talking about it, right? You want them to see it in action. So for example, let's say I'm driving my car, right? I'm not talking about what car just bought me, which is a very, very nice car in case you guys want to know. It's a Mercedes AMG something. I don't know, fancy. 604 horsepower and it's 6,000 pounds, so I can write it off. That's what I care about. But anyway, what you want to do is not talk about the car that the company bought you, but shoot a video in the car talking about whatever you want to talk about, and they can see that in the background. They're like, ooh, Gogo drives an AMG, nice. I think it's 650S coupe or something like that. I don't know. I don't do cars. Those kind of things, right? By showing that you can afford to go on a 2-week vacation to the French Riviera, that's FOMO, okay? The next one, say no to good things so you can say yes to great things. So what does this mean? There's only one of you and there's only 24 hours in a day. So if you're constantly saying yes to everything, you're going to run out of time. So I want you to look at things. Is this a good idea or is this a great idea? I'll give you an example. During COVID, I opened a few companies, 4, I think, to be exact, which I got good ideas. And I was like, oh, I need to act on it. And I opened a transaction coordination company. Was it a good idea? Yes, it was. Did it make money? Yes, it did. Was it a lot of headache and required a lot of my time and a very detail oriented for very little money? Absolutely. So how I want you to look at this. Let's say you have choices. This only works if you have choices, right? So let's say that this company right here, it takes 8 hours of your time, okay? And it makes you, let's say, $1,000. And then this company here takes 2 hours of your time, or even better, it takes 1 hour of your time and makes you $7,000 in that 1 hour. Where should you spend your time? Should you spend 8 hours here for $1,000, or should you spend 1 hour here for $7,000? Right? So you need to create yourself the opportunities, the good opportunities and the great opportunities. And when you have multiple, you get to choose. But that only works if you're truly making business decision, not feeling decision. I don't care how this company makes you feel. In the end of the day, you work for money. And if this company makes me little money for the time that I'm invested, then you need to spend the time here. So I want you to think everything through in the future of where you're spending your time. Look at your calendar. Because some of you are like, well, I don't have time for agent interaction. I'm like, show me your calendar, because I guarantee you, if I go in there 5 minutes, I can clean some stuff up. You will have plenty of time for agent interaction. So say no to good things so you can say yes to great things. And the next one is dare to be rare. I am, as Brent Gove says it, I am looking for the people who are looking for me. I don't want to be business partners with people that are not like me. I don't want to be, I'm way too old now, right, guys? I want to hang with my people in the way that I can control who's my people in my Team GoGo family organization is by showing the world of who I am, what I stand for, what is my work ethic. And then those people will find me. And when they find something in common with me, we will earn their trust. And when we have their trust, eventually they will join us. So what I want you to do is be yourself, dare to be rare. I don't want to be you and I don't want your people, because we're probably not going to get along, right? I want to be me and I want to find my people. And again, Brent Gove says, I am looking for the people who are looking for me. Write this down, because this way you will create a tribe, you will create a family, a community. We call ours the Team GoGo International Family of Agents, because we are international and because we are a family of agents, right? We refer to one another, we go to events together, we hang out. I mean, we vacation, they come to my house, I stay at theirs when I go speak. So it is truly a family, and that's what I want to be building. I don't want to have to be in business with someone. I don't care how much money I make if they're not my people, okay? Everyone is gettable. I was one of those agents when I was like, oh, hell no, I will never join EXP. So everyone is gettable. Write this down. Maybe not now, but one day that broker is going to piss them off. One day that check's going to be missing, or money's going to missing from that commission. Or one day they wanted something and the broker didn't approve it. Or one day their cap got raised after they spent 20 years with that company. Or one day maybe they finally realized, hold on a minute, I did spend 20 years with this company and I don't have anything to show for. Whatever that is, everyone is gettable. And the next one is well chart. You need to track everything that you do, because if you don't track it, you can grow it, guys. So there's a wild chart. I think there's a free one in my GoGo's Real Estate profile. So if you go on Instagram and you go to GoGo's Real Estate, if you go under links, there's all kinds of free stuff. So go there, have at it, but track what you're doing. And there's an EXP wall chart. I would strongly recommend for you to download that and start tracking your agents. What gets celebrated gets duplicated. So what does that mean? I feel like the one thing that EXP doesn't have is that local community where we can go into an office and have a potluck, right? We don't have that. We don't have offices. I mean, some do, but it belongs to a team. So it's kind of awkward for me to take my Team GoGo organization into someone's team. They're not in their team, not in their downline, right? So what is my duty as their sponsor and as their leader is to celebrate them. So make sure that they feel at home, that they feel that they belong to a community. So in the Team GoGo organization, we celebrate quite a lot. We celebrate on an agent icons. Actually, if you go on Instagram and you go to my stories, you're going to see it today. And today is the 22nd of February, depending when you're watching this. You're going to see it today that one of our agent, Ashley Kimball, she just iconed and we mailed her a mug. So we have branded mugs for all of our icons. So it says Team GoGo Icon Agent EXP, and congratulations, send them a nice note and all that. We send them notebooks and a pen when they join us. So they get a notebook like this, welcome to Team GoGo, and a note inside of it that says, if you don't write your dreams down, it doesn't exist. We also celebrate birthdays. When an agent signs up with me on the application, we ask for their birthday, and then I call and sing happy birthday to all of my frontline agents. Now, it is torture because I don't necessarily have a Celine Dion voice, but it's the thought that counts, right? Is to take the time out of your day to celebrate the agent that decided to partner with you. And then every month we celebrate our top producers and top agent attractors. Top producers we calculate from the rep share numbers that we are able to see, which is sometimes not the true numbers because I don't get to see what they produce above capping. Sometimes we might be celebrating the wrong agent, but hey, these are the numbers that I get to see. And hopefully today our agents understand that. And the next one is the top agent attractor. So every month we celebrate the agent who brought the most agents that previous month. So what gets celebrated gets duplicated. Celebrate your agents so you don't lose them, because agent retention is a thing, meaning you're going to work really hard to get them to come, right? You're going to have to work just as hard, if not harder, to make them stay. It's a totally different game. So if they don't feel belong, if they don't feel like they belong, if they feel like they're not heard, they're not noticed, they're going to go somewhere where they are, and you don't want that to happen. Tools for attraction: have your own website. So this is number 4, tools for attraction. Your own website. You have to have a .com, your name. I have a boot camp. You can message me later on that if you're interested. That's what we build. We build people's websites. But number 1, you have to have your .com. Why? Because think of it like a funnel. Think of it like you have all of these social media platforms: the Facebook, the Instagram, the LinkedIn, the TikToks, the name it, right? And there are people on there. Do you have to call them today to visit TikTok? Do you have to call them to open Facebook? No, everybody does, right? So what these platforms do very, very well is that they generate the traffic. Now, your job as the marketer, and by the way, the best marketer wins, your job as a marketer is to take them off of those platforms, use those platforms for their traffic organically, right? And then generate that traffic over somewhere. Well, where's that somewhere? You're going to have to take them off of Facebook and over to your website. So if I'm posting a video on Facebook and telling you about the amazing opportunity for you to partner with me at EXP, I need to tell you, click the link below. Well, that link is going to take you to a website. On that website, you're going to see my video, why I joined EXP, other videos, and there's going to be a link to my calendar for you to jump into my calendar. You have to control your traffic. So if you don't have a website, you just did that video, who looked at it? Can they even talk to you? You're going to lose them if you don't have a website. You must have a website. Also, I use a company called CRM Grow for Big Brother. CRM Grow is founded by an actual EXP agent and allows you to post videos, but it has a tracker in the background, so you get to see who watches those videos. So what does that mean? If somebody watches my 9 minute and 32 second EXP explained video, and they watched it for 57 seconds, do you think they're interested? Right? I'm not going to be calling them. But if somebody watched it and it's a 9 minute, 32 second video and they watched it for 9 minutes and 32 seconds, do you think they're interested? Should I call them? Oh, absolutely. So I see, as soon as they're done and they finish the video, I see who they are, because they have to put their name and email address and phone number in there in order to watch the video. So I see everything about them, and I see how long they watched the video. So I know if it's worth my time to reach out or not. So if they watched it for 9 minutes and 32 seconds, trust me, I'm all over it. I text them. I'm like, hey, how did you like the video? And they're like, what the? How does she know? It's Big Brother. So use CRM Grow. That's what I use. Pink sheet. So pink sheet, what we call the pink sheet is our sign-up sheet. And on the sign-up sheet, so outside of the ICA that the agents sign when they join, I have my own sign-up sheet, right? We call it the pink sheet. On the pink sheet, we ask them name, email address, phone number. We ask their social media profile so we can announce them when they come. Because again, you want to create FOMO. Because if Jessica joined you, her best friend Kevin will too, right? So create FOMO. So you want their social media profile so you can tag them when they join. And then you want their birthday, so you can call them and sing them happy birthday or send them a gift or whatever you want to do. You want their physical location, because you want to be able to send them all of these gifts. And I told you the notebooks, the mugs, they have to be mailed somewhere, right? You need to know if they're agents or broker, because if they're an agent, much easier and faster to bring them on. And if they're a broker, so I need to know that ahead of time. So that's what we call the pink sheet. So I want you to create your own pink sheet. But again, if you want to know more about my bootcamp, just ask me later. We create all of these for you. Why I switched to EXP video, we talked about that already. Your Facebook group. Now you need to have a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group, a workplace group, because you need to be able to create that community. So again, my community is called Team GoGo. We do a lot of weekly trainings in there, a lot of announcements, anything that EXP comes out with. I need to be able to reach the masses. So you need to create a Facebook group or a workplace group. okay, for your group, and name your group. And the next one is Calendly. You must have Calendly, because on the website that I was talking about, when you say jump into my calendar, that's a Calendly link where it talks to your calendar, right? And it shows them that you're available Tuesday between 2 and 4, but that's the only availability. So you must have Calendly. Some of these are third-party companies, of course, like Facebook, Calendly. They have free version of stuff, but then there are paid versions of stuff. So I pay for Calendly, I pay for CRM Grow. All of these companies are third-party, but you have to think about, okay, even if it just gets you one agent for a lifetime, if CRM Grow just gets you one agent, pays for itself, like 10 years over, right? Okay, the next one, how to attract. So this is number 5. Let's talk EXP calls. So after I get them off of Facebook, I got them onto my website, and the website I get them into my calendar, right? I call it Let's Talk EXP. And that Let's Talk EXP call, by that time, they watch 9 videos on my website before they could even schedule, because my website says you must watch all 9 videos before you can schedule with me. If you guys want to see this in action, just go to gogobetke.com, the EXP Partner With Me button, and you'll see my site. So on there, when we finally jump on the call, I only have to answer their objections. I don't have to explain the model. I don't have to go through all of the EXP offers, the stocks, the EXP, the icon, the yada yada. I don't have to do any of that because they watched the videos already, right? The next one is 3-way calls. Now, I do 3-way calls for my downline, because many of your agents will feel comfortable attracting or inviting agents to a presentation they don't want to present. I have no problem presenting. I love presenting. I love this company. It changed my life. It's my duty to give back, right? So I do 3-way calls where they come, they invite their guests, and I do the presentation. They sign them up. There's a 3-way call button on my website. You're going to have to build a 3-way call button on your website, so your agents in your downline can invite a guest, and you, them, the 2 of them and you can be on a call. So it's called a 3-way call. Why Not EXP weekly presentation. So I do a presentation and I call it Why Not EXP every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Again, your agents will feel comfortable inviting. They won't want to do a presentation. I'll present, no problem. In the Why Not EXP, I do a full-blown EXP explained, right? So I go through my way of what I love about the company, how it changed my life, the icon program, all of those things. We call it Why Not, kind of like a play on words, because it's at 8 o'clock at night and I usually drink a glass of wine. So put a little spin on it, find your people again, right? The next one, number 6, is network. We are in the people business, guys. People business. We are in the people business. We are not selling real estate, right? We are selling ourselves and our services. My job as a marketer, right, is to convince you to work with me in a real estate transaction versus working with Joe Schmo over there. Same with agent attraction. Your job is to make sure that someone chooses you as their sponsor, not me, not Joe Schmo over there, right? So how do we do that? You build relationships. So even during COVID, I feel like we have gotten to the point where people crave personal relationship, to literally be in the same physical space with someone, to leave your house, to go do something, right? Number 1 is break bread. I want you to break bread every single day. What does break bread mean? Break bread means that you actually sit down and eat with someone. It could be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, a snack, whatever you want to do, go to a restaurant, do a picnic. I don't care. Break bread with someone, have a personal one-on-one conversation. Go to events. Events are huge because you're going to meet people that you would not have a chance to meet otherwise. And the next one is bring the guests. So when you are going to these events, bring the guests. Bring somebody. Then we were kind of teasing with this whole EXP thing, but you know that if they come to an event and they get to meet us and they see how amazing we are at this company, not only what the company offers, but the people who are in this company, that's going to close them, right? Join real estate Facebook groups, because there's a lot of agents in there that you might become friends with, right? They won't allow you to recruit in there, but you can form personal relationships and then take the conversation elsewhere. Give before you take. I see agents that just me, but they don't actually give content. They don't give knowledge. They don't share and help other agents. It was going to be really hard, guys, because the more you give, the more you get. So the more knowledge I can share on social media, the more agents are going to follow me. And the more they follow me over time, I earn their trust. And when I earn their trust, yay, right? Eventually, they buy whatever I'm selling. So that's how you want to look at it. And I have 5 minutes to go through 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's do this. Number 7, you must know your numbers. You must know. And number 1 is know your numbers. And by numbers, I mean know their numbers, sorry, not yours. So when you have an EXP conversation, I know that I can beat your numbers with my eyes closed. But in order to do that, I have to know your numbers, right? Which means you're going to have to ask some uncomfortable conversations. How many transactions did you have last year? How long have you been in the industry? Where did those transactions come from? How many of those are on the listing side? How many on the buy side? What's your average commission? What's your average sales price? Why do I need to know that? Because if I know your average sales price, I can calculate how many transactions it's going to take for you to icon. So if I know your average price range is in the low 300s, I know it's going to take you 28, 29 transactions to icon. And if you are at 12 transactions, it's a hike, right? I might not be able to get you there in the first year, but I know what we need to do to get you there eventually. So I wouldn't be pushing the icon program. I might be pushing City and the leads and the KV course and the Team Google trainings and the Team Google leads that we provide to each other to take you from that 12 transactions to the 29 is going to take you to icon. The next one is know the model and know the competitor's model. So if I'm talking to someone from Remax, right, I need to know what their cap and cut and their structure is like. Like sometimes when you're talking to someone from Keller Williams and they're like, my cap is 16,000. I'm like, yeah, but you have a royalty fee, another $6,000 or $3,000 or whatever that is. They was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like they pitch it to them in a sense, it's like they are almost honored to pay the $6,000 or whatever that is, that royalty fee, right? They don't even think about it. But at the end of the day, it's a fee that you are paying that you're never going to get back, right? The next one is what what does your brokerage bring to the table? What does your broker currently bring to the table? Are you getting anything out of it? Are you, oh, you've been with the company for 20 years? Awesome. Are you a partner? Did they offer you ownership? Oh, no. Okay. How about how many transactions? 54 transactions last year. Did you earn your cap back? What? No. Right? These are the type of conversations you need to be having. But in order to know that, you need to know their numbers. Right? The next one is trackers. You need to track everything. I'm the biggest nerd that you're ever going to meet. So number one is the greatness tracker. The greatness tracker, again, is on my profile. Go ahead and download it. It will help you to structure your day to make sure you're not missing anything. The next one is the revenue share tracker. You have to track it. Certain things in our revenue share model, you are not going to be able to go back and track it. So I want you to start now. Even if you have one agent, I want you to start with that one agent now and go and track it. What happens? How did that one agent turn into two? And when did you make your first revenue share? How much was it? How many agents you had at the time? Which month after starting? All that, get a revenue share tracker. And next one is a wealth chart. We talked about that earlier a little bit. The next one, number 9, videos. Show them the good, the bad, and the ugly. Not every day is sunny and 75 in real estate, guys, and I want you to be realistic and show the good, bad, and the ugly so they know what they're getting into. Allow people to really get to know you, right? Now, I'm not saying open up your closet and show your skeletons, right? I'm just saying talk about the fact that you have a type 1 diabetic son. I do talk about the fact that you moved to Florida and now you have financial freedom, location freedom, and time freedom, right? I only work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. From the rest of my life, I took it off. Okay, those kind of things. And then when you allow them to get to know you, they will love you. When they love you, they will trust you. And when they trust you, they will buy anything you're selling. So trust takes time. And actually, you learned this from Rick Jiha's wife. And sorry, I cannot remember her first name. She said that your business will move with the speed of trust. Casey Jiha. Your business will move with the speed of trust. Trust will take time. For people to earn your trust, or you to earn their trust, I should say, it will take time. But when you earned it, and hopefully you never lose it, when you earned it, they will buy what you're selling. So work at that trust, allow them to get to know you, see who you are as a human, who you are in the business, and they will find something in common with you to join. And number 10, very, very quick, and I have 30 seconds to go, begin with the end in mind. When I joined EXP, I told my sponsor that I am going to bring 100 agents. Mind you, at that time, nobody brought 100 agents. So my sponsor said, oh, okay, when you do that, I'll buy you a Rolex. And I should wear that Rolex. I always forget it because I track my sleep and I track how much I walk, right? So I have the Apple Watch on. But I do have a Rolex today. I didn't buy it. My sponsor did. Kurt, thank you so much. But I was a man of my word and he was a man of his, right? I said, I'm going to bring 100 agents. I brought 240 since then. But when I brought 100, he brought me a Rolex. So here's the thing. If you don't have a goal, you're going somewhere, but really nowhere because you don't have your internal GPS activated. So you need to know your goal and you need to have an end date to that goal. So you might say, I want to have 20 agents by the end of 2023. Then go get it done. Then you say, okay, I have 10 months left. That means I need to bring 2 agents a month. Where are those agents going to come from? How many do I need to talk to? Maybe you have to talk to 20 for a 10% closing rate for 2 to sign up. I don't know your numbers. You need to know your numbers, figure it out, but know the end goal. Put an end date to it and go get it done. And the next one is force your brain to see that. Sometimes we can't see sometimes it feels like that your goals are so obnoxious and so big and so far away and you're never going to be able to reach that. And if you think you're never going to be able to reach it, you're never going to be able to reach it.
So what that means is that you need to force your brain to be able to see that. So if there is something out in the world that I want, but my internal thing says, I don't think I can do that, right? Like she can do that because she has a mega account team, but I can't do that because I don't have one, right? Now what you need to do, you need to sit down. I usually go to the beach. That's where God is for me. I go to the beach, I sit down, and I literally force my brain to be able to see the end goal. As soon as you can see it, and as soon as it feels like it's yours, you can have it. That's it, guys. This is for my 10 tips for agent attraction. Thank you so much for having me. Let's go do production.